Hey guys, Happy New Year and welcome to the video. My name is Akari, and in this one, I'm going to be covering the tech stack behind my shadow operating business. Now, these softwares that I'm going to talk about, I have personally used every single one of them, so I know they are legit. And they have generated over 7 figures in revenue in my shadow operating business. So if you haven't heard of shadow operating before, essentially it's a business model where you are partnered with an influencer and you run the operations behind the scenes, essentially converting the traffic that the influencer generates. The influencer is the front end, you are the back end, and this is the business model that I'm talking about in this video. If you haven't heard about shadow operating before, I highly recommend to check out my other videos on the channel where I go into depth about it. But this one in specific, I am covering the softwares that you will need to actually operate this business. And if you want to see all these softwares in a very easy form, I have compiled them into a Google Doc. So you can click the first link in the description. You should be able to find all of them there and start using them for your own business. So with that said, let's get straight into the video. Now, the way I'm going to cover these softwares is through the client acquisition flow, which means I'm not going to throw all these softwares at you. I'm going to show you step by step where each software is needed. All right, so let's get into the first step, which is to attract the prospect. And this point is when the influencer has already done a call to action on their social media and they've brought the prospects to your landing page or to your website. All right, so to start, you're going to need to build a landing page. Now, you can use either of these ones. I've said pick one so you can try them out for yourself. First one is ClickFunnels, which is my personal favorite. It's like an all-in-one funnel builder. So you can build landing pages, email waitlists, webinar. I mean, the list goes on. There's so many templates and it's super versatile. It basically gives you the freedom to create your website in the way that you want and have little elements that other website builders don't have. So I've used ClickFunnels for literally most of my businesses, and the ROI is always there. It always brings back more than you pay for it. If you're a beginner and you haven't really created a sales funnel before, then I would recommend checking out LeadPages. It is a little bit cheaper and also easier to use. You could say more like an entry point to landing pages compared to ClickFunnels. So yeah, LeadPages is pretty good because you can just drag and drop everything, and perfect if you just want to get a landing page up and running pretty quick. So yeah, those are the 2 landing page builders that you can choose from. Honestly, it depends on your skill set, depends on the amount of time you have to learn these things. And if you're already good at landing pages, obviously ClickFunnels is the one for you. Okay, so on the landing page, you will also have a button where the prospect can click apply to work with me. And when I say me, I'm talking about the influencer because you're building it out with them, right? So this button will take them to the next step, which is the qualification stage. So the first one is them actually seeing the offer, seeing the VSL, the video, talking about what the offer actually is. And then the next step is for them to actually apply to work with the influencer. And for this, you're going to need a qualification step. And there's no other one to talk about other than Typeform. Typeform is the leader. It's the most superior form builder I have found, I have used. I've used this in all of my shadow operating businesses. It works perfectly, never had an issue with it. And I'll talk about why, because there are a few key reasons why Typeform is superior. First one, it doesn't feel like a form, okay? You can even click the link in my description below the software's link. You'll see a link to work with me. And you can see how the form looks. It doesn't look like a boring form that you fill out like Google Forms, right? When you see a Google form, it doesn't you don't really want to fill it out. At least that's how I feel. But with Typeform, it offers more an experience for the user. It's a bit more enjoyable and easier to fill out because there's only one question per page. So it doesn't overwhelm the prospect. That's very important. The next step is that you can have conditional logic set. What do I mean by that? So let's say you are a fitness coach. I'm just going to use that example because I've worked with fitness coaches in the past. let's say you only want to work with people who are willing to commit for 12 weeks to their fitness plan that you're going to provide them. And let's say they're asked that question in the Typeform and they answer no. You want to be able to have a logic set so that if they answer no, they become unqualified per se. So they don't get the ability to go ahead to the next step, which is to book a call. This essentially helps filter out applicants so that you only receive the applicants that you want to work with, and you get to set the conditions of what that is. So you might want to have one for commitment. You might want to have one for if they're willing to actually show up on the call on time. Another one might be investments, like are they actually willing to invest into themselves? That's essentially what conditional logic is. You can ask these questions, and then based on what they answer, they can go to a different place in your form, which is really cool. Another one is that it integrates really nicely with Google Sheets, and this is included in their basic plan, the $25 a month one. There's no extra cost for these integrations, which is pretty cool. And most importantly, there is a significantly higher completion rate with Typeforms compared to, say, a Google form. I mean, those are all the reasons why, but once you try it out for yourself, you're going to understand why Typeform is the best. So that's the first step, and that's to attract the prospect with the offer, with the landing page. And the next is obviously qualifying them to make sure that they are suitable for your offer. Okay, so let's move on to step number 2, which is nurture. Now, I've put this one here, but it can really be later on. But the reason why I've put it at step 2 is because after they qualify and before their sales call, you are going to want to send them some pre-call email reminders to make sure that they show up for the call. You have their contact details at this Typeform stage, which you can then input to your email marketing platform, and you're going to be able to follow up with them. You can also nurture them before the call so that they get excited to actually talk with you or your sales team. So this can really be step 2, but it can also be the later step as well. Anyway, these are the 3 softwares that I've used and that are really good for email marketing. First one being Kit, and it's actually built specifically for course creators and coaches. So this would probably be your go-to one that you'll be using for all email marketing when it comes to your high ticket offer, because it's all well and good capturing all these leads and getting them through your Typeform. But what you really want to do is follow up with these people and nurture them, because a lot of people don't convert on the first time. And in my shadow operating business, I did so much email marketing, like it was a crucial pillar of the business. And I think a lot of people underestimate it, although we're in 2026 and, there's AI and all these new things that come out, people still use email, and that says something. So ConvertKit is probably your go-to, but it is a bit more of a premium option. So I did add these other 2, which are really good as well, ActiveCampaign. So this one has more of a built-in CRM, which can be good where you manage your leads and it's easier to organize them. And yeah, like if you have a really complex sales process, then you'd probably want to use something like this. Again, there's conditional logic and different email sequences. Really good software. And if you are a beginner and you've never done email marketing before, then I would suggest MailerLite. It is also the most affordable. It's not going to cost as much as ConvertKit, and it's a great starting point. So if you're brand new to all of this, then just go with MailerLite. It's going to be your best option, cheapest option too. All right, so you can pick one of those email marketing softwares. Honestly, all 3 are really good. It's just preference in terms of budget and your skill level again. So let's move on to step number 3. So for a prospect to get to the convert stage, they first had to go onto the landing page, then fill out an application from the Typeform, and third, actually qualify to get to the convert stage. And at this point is where you're on a sales call with them, either you or your sales closers are on the sales call with them. And these are the tools that you're going to need for this. So once they qualify in your Typeform, you're going to want to redirect them to one of these calendar booking softwares. And the reason why you want to use one of these is because you don't want to have it super manual where you got to go back and forth with the prospect, organizing a time, different time zones, getting it into your calendar, connecting that to Zoom. Like there's so many little headaches that these softwares will solve for you and just save you so much time, just automate everything. My personal favorite is cal.com because they have unlimited event types, even if you're on the free plan, but also they have built-in video conferencing. So you can literally use this one platform to host your sales calls for everything. And if you are a bit more technical, it is an open source platform, which means you can customize the options a lot more. So yeah, I see cal.com being the number one calendar booking software. They just keep coming out with new features and making it like the number one platform. And the second one is Calendly, which is also really good. I'd say the main difference is that you need to connect it to a video software in order to be able to host the sales call. So my personal favorite and the go-to one is Zoom. Obviously, it's the industry standard for sales calls and screen sharing. The free plan gives you 40 minutes, but if you're on a sales call, you probably want to go for the basic plan there. But yeah, that's essentially the difference between Calendly and Cal, and that's still why I put Cal number one. So pick one of those, and yeah, if you pick Calendly, then of course you're going to need Zoom. So that's the convert step, and the next step is the close. So once a prospect has agreed to work with you on the sales call, then you're going to need to be able to process a payment on that call. Now, obviously, you want to set this up before the sales call, but these are the two softwares that I use to host all my payments. So Stripe is the number one payment processor by far, works worldwide. You can accept many different payment methods, Visa, MasterCard, Amex. And the thing I like about Stripe is that, of course, you get the mobile app so you can see the notifications when someone makes a payment, but you can see all the data really nicely and you can really analyze parts of your business. So you can see like the churn rate, you can see the MRR, the monthly recurring revenue, gross revenue, all those types of statistics that are important for you to know. It displays it inside the dashboard, which is really cool. And you can get automatic payouts. So it will be daily payouts. So if you make a sale today, I think you need to wait at least a week for it to activate. But then from then on, it's like a daily sort of payment, which is good for cash flow into your business. And obviously, you have expenses as a business, so you need to be able to pay for things on time. So yeah, Stripe, really good. Their fee, 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. And if Stripe's not available in your country for some reason, or you got banned from it, or whatever the case, you can leave a comment down below and I can recommend you an alternative one. And the next one is Wise. So Wise is a bit different to Stripe. You can actually hold different currencies from different countries in Wise, and you can actually spend these currencies worldwide. I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it did. Yeah, like you can have USD, you can have Australian dollars, New Zealand dollars, all these different currencies, and you actually get like a Wise card. So you can go ahead and like spend it in whatever country you're in. I actually use Wise to pay when I'm traveling because obviously I don't want to be paying fees on every single transaction. So I'll just send like whatever amount to my Wise account. And then whatever country I'm in, I'll just convert it to that currency once and pay a lower fee than other platforms. And then I get to just spend it directly in the currency. So you save a lot of money, but for the purposes of shadow operating and business, it's good as well for bank transfers. If a customer, say, is in Canada and they want to do a bank transfer, you can go ahead and give your Canadian bank details inside of Wise to the prospect and they can make a bank transfer. So it's really good for that. Bank transfers, I believe you can also do a payment link as well. So you can send a Wise link to the prospect's email and they can pay that amount to your Wise. So yeah, those are definitely the best two payment processes I've used and highly, highly recommend. That's step 4. Let's get on to the next step, which is deliver. So this is once you've already signed the prospect into the program or into the course. Depending on the influencer you're working with, you'll have a different type of offer. Maybe you're selling a digital product, a digital service. It really depends. But the number one platform to host, whether it's a course, community, coaching program, is Skool. And I've used Skool for every single offer I've done with an influencer in my shadow operating business, and it's been a game changer. The reason why I love Skool so much is because it's an all-in-one platform. When you think about when a prospect joins your coaching program, you need to deliver them a few elements, right? Like Skool allows you to have your community. So before Skool, you needed like a Facebook group, or I don't know what else there was, like a Telegram or something else, right? To host all your members in one place. But with Skool, it's inside of the platform. So you have the community aspect there, which is really important. And the next aspect is the classroom. So this is where you can put all your courses and programs and everything into this section. You can add like videos inside of each lesson. You can have text, you can upload PDFs. And also there's a calendar. So all the members are going to be able to see when a call is on. So like if you host a weekly call, or like if there's a live stream, whatever, you can put it onto the calendar. All the members are going to be able to see it. And when you're live, there'll be a notification in the community for them to be able to go ahead and watch directly. And then one other thing is they can message you inside of the platform. So all your customer support happens in Skool as well. So again, it's an all-in-one platform. You don't need anything else other than Skool. And super easy when you onboard your client, because you just send them the Skool link. And then, of course, you're going to want to ask some questions, like what was the email you paid with? What's your full name? So you can go ahead, cross-check that in Stripe and make sure this person has actually paid before you allow them into your community. So yeah, Skool is the #1 fulfillment platform to deliver your services. So let's move on to the next step, which is communications. Now, this, of course, takes place throughout the whole process, but these are the communication tools that I like to use day to day between me and my business partners and team members. So #1, WhatsApp. It's free. It's the fastest way to communicate with people, and you can send voice notes, photos. It's really good. Like I have WhatsApp on my laptop, so if I need to send like a screen recording, a Loom, if I need to send like tutorial or whatever, like WhatsApp is #1, and doesn't matter where you are in the world, you're going to be able to just access this. Unlike a text message, I know you Americans like to text a lot, but outside of America, everyone has different phone numbers. So that's the first one. And they also have a business version too. So if you want to keep it separate from your personal life, like to have your business partner, your team members, whatever, you can have it on there. Or Slack is what I like to use for all work-related stuff. So I'll have like my really personal or like close contacts, and then like the rest of my team members I'll have on Slack. So my closers, my setters, virtual assistants, I'll create a Slack for my business, and then essentially create different Slack channels related to different things and host it on there. Slack is really good. So if you have a team, I will get Slack. If you don't have a team yet, then WhatsApp is probably all you need. And another one is Loom. I've used Loom so much in my business. I'm using it right now to create content, but in terms of like tutorials for my team members, like if they need to know how to do something, I can just record a Loom, send it to my VA, and then they're going to know exactly how to do that task. So it's good for operating procedures so that you don't have to keep repeating yourself. You say, watch this Loom. It's good to explain things. It's good also for outreach. So when you need to get a shadow operating client, like let's say you don't have a client yet, then you're going to want to use Loom and record Looms and send them to influencers so that they can see your face and see your ability to speak and the value that you provide instead of just a DM message. It's way more powerful. So yeah, definitely go ahead and get Loom if you don't have it already. And you can just get the free plan as well. Like I think you get 25 videos at a 5-minute limit, but that is enough. Like you don't need really more than 5 minutes to send to an influencer when you're doing outreach. So yeah, definitely want to use Loom. Now we're going to get on to step 7. And this is where you host all your documents, all your business folders, operating procedures, everything. You're going to want to put it into one central place, which is going to make your life easier, but also your team members, your your business. Everything is going to be way more streamlined. Google Drive is the best. Like, if you have a Google account, then just use Google Drive, because it means you can just put all your files onto Google Drive. This is what I do. Like, I've got everything on Google Drive and I can just check that one place. And you want to have a folder for your business and then folders within that. So yeah, Google Drive is the best to do that. And you can also share different documents and projects. You can create spreadsheets. I mean, I'm sure you guys know of Google Drive already, but just in case you don't, that's what it does. And in terms of notes and quick notes, I use Apple Notes because I have an iPhone. So of course it's the best note-taking app. But if you don't have an iPhone and you're watching this video, then please click away. I'm joking. But if you're serious about making money, definitely get an iPhone as well. But yeah, Apple Notes is really good because, like, if you're on the go, if you're like, for example, you're out and you have an idea, you can just quickly note it down. I mean, I've got so many different systems and reminders and checklists all on my Apple Notes. It's just easy because it can sync to your Mac or your laptop. If you have Apple devices, Apple Notes is the best for that. What I like to use it for mainly is my task list. So I have all the tasks I need to do for my business in Apple Notes. So say like business tasks and basically a list of things I need to do. And I can just check it off. Every single millionaire I know uses Apple Notes. And the next one is Miro. So I've actually used it to create this video. It's really good for visual planning, for brainstorming, and for building out systems that are hard to describe in terms of a Google Doc or whatever. Like, you can really visualize the data and visualize processes to make it better for yourself and for your team members and clients. So yeah, Miro, really good. So now we'll move on to step 8, which is to protect. So you want to be a shadow operator? Well, you need to work in the shadows and you need a VPN, which is going to protect your data. It's going to protect your client's data. So the main reason I use a VPN is because it actually encrypts your internet connection, so no one can really track your IP address. So yeah, if you're someone who likes to be anonymous, someone who doesn't really want to be tracked or whatever, VPN is super good. But there are a few other advantages to having a VPN, which I don't really see people talk about. Firstly, if you're in a country where there's not many things available or whatever, you can connect to VPN to, like, say, America, and then you can go access websites that you couldn't access in those countries. The VPN that I use is NordVPN. It is the best one. I've tried ExpressVPN and other ones in the past, but I've just found my experience to be the best with Nord. The really cool thing that I like to use it for is that, let's say I want to sign up to a certain software, I can connect to my NordVPN to, say, a country like Brazil, and then I can sign up to that software from Brazil using my NordVPN and then get access to a cheaper monthly subscription. So this is a really cool, like, life hack that you guys should definitely do. It doesn't work for every single software, but I mean, it's worth to try it first to, like, connect to that country and see, okay, does it actually show up to me in that country's price? If so, then you can sign up under that country. It's going to protect your identity, protect your internet connection, your data. So yeah, definitely want NordVPN if you want to be a shadow operator. The next is contracts. Very important when it comes to signing on a client or working with a team member. You're going to want to create contracts to protect yourself and also your client. This is just more standard so that, you know, no one can come after you for anything. You've got it in a contract. You've said what you promised. They said what they agreed to, and it's all there for everyone to see. Both of these are really good. Really minimal differences between the two. I mean, I've used both, so just preference, yeah. So pick one of those. Okay, and I have one more bonus software for you, and this is the last one. So this is for your business infrastructure. Now, depending on where you guys are, you might not have, like, a company set up. So if you do want to set up a company offshore, not in your own country, then you can use Doola, which is a platform that helps you set up a US LLC. So even if you are an American, you can still set up your company through here, but it is perfect for those who are not in America. I've used Doola. I've set up my US LLC through here. So you can set up your US LLC, and then you'll get an EIN, which is essentially your company number, which you can then use to set up softwares like Stripe. So your Stripe will be American bank accounts. And also, once you're making good money in cash flow, you can get American credit cards as well, which is really cool. So those are all the softwares for this video. Again, if you want to find all of them here, you click the first link in the Google Doc. I put them all there so you can sign up and start using them for your own business. By the way, guys, this video did take a while to put together, so I would appreciate if you liked and subscribed to my channel if you want to see more content like this, so I can keep making these value-packed videos for you guys. If you did want to work with me one-on-one, you can click that link in the description just below the document and apply. But yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed, and see you guys on the next one.